Ah, the Shockmaster. If there is one moment in wrestling history that perfectly encapsulates the chaotic, unpredictable nature of the sport, it's his infamous debut. Let's dive into the convoluted, yet hilariously entertaining, events leading up to this monumental faceplant in WCW history.
In the early 1990s, WCW was a hotbed of creativity, often bordering on the absurd. The company was trying to carve its niche against the juggernaut that was the WWF, leading to some, let's call them, innovative decisions. At this time, WCW was heavily invested in the NWA title lineage, with wrestlers like Ric Flair, Sting, and Vader dominating the scene. Sid Udy, known as Sid Vicious, was a key figure in this incident. After a stint in the WWF, Sid returned to WCW in 1993, quickly becoming a central figure due to his size and charisma. His feud with Vader was a significant storyline, with both men vying for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Mastermind behind the madness. Enter Fred Ottman, better known to wrestling fans as Tugboat or Typhoon in WWF, who had a brief stint as the Shockmaster in WCW. However, his most infamous role was yet to come. The creative minds at WCW, in their infinite wisdom, decided to introduce a character that would supposedly be the ultimate weapon, the Shockmaster's genesis. The Shockmaster was supposed to be a mysterious, powerful figure emerging from the shadows. The character was meant to be a blend of Darth Vader and a heavy metal rock star, with a golden helmet and a penchant for destruction. The idea was to have him crash through a wall, making a grand entrance that would, in the words of Sting, shock the world. The planning for this debut was, shall we say, less than meticulous. WCW decided to film this grand entrance at an event where wrestlers were already busy with other matches. The wall was made of cheap drywall, and the helmet, well, it was a bedazzled stormtrooper helmet, spray painted gold, which in hindsight should have been a red flag. The debut of the Shockmaster was set to take place on August 18th, 1993 in Daytona Beach, Florida, from the Ocean Center, Clash of the Champions 24. WCW was building towards their War Games match at Fall Brawl 93. The heel team of Sid Vicious, Big Van Vader, Harlem Heat, Kane and Cole, Stevie Ray and Booker T later on, would go into battle against Sting, the Natural Dustin Rhodes, and Davey Boy Smith with a mystery partner. The missing piece of the babyface foursome would be revealed at Clash of the Champions 24. Initially, Davey Boy Smith, Sting, and Dustin Rhodes were to be joined by Road Warrior Hawk in their team, but he was removed from that squad and the Shockmaster's debut was set. So the promo took place between Kane, Cole, Sid Vicious, Colonel Robert Parker on the Flair for the Gold segment. The babyfaces were represented by Sting and Davey Boy. Sid screamed, a usual Sid promo. He didn't really botch any lines here, but he just screamed, demanded to know who the partner was, who the mystery partner was, which is all building to the big reveal of the babyface team's mystery partner, which we know was Fred Ottman, the Shockmaster. The moment arrived. The camera panned to the wall, and out was supposed to come the Shockmaster. But what actually happened was, well, comedy gold.
I told you.
Fred Ottman, not the most agile of men, tripped over the wall, which crumbled like a house of cards. As he stumbled forward, his helmet fell off, revealing a bewildered Fred Ottman looking like a confused space janitor. The wrestling world didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The Shockmaster was meant to be a fearsome figure, but he became an instant meme before memes were even a thing. WCW tried to salvage the character, but the damage was done. The Shockmaster went on to have a few more appearances, but his legacy was forever cemented as the epitome of wrestling's most spectacular fails. Wrestlers like Arn Anderson, who was in the ring at the time, tried to keep a straight face, but the sheer absurdity of the moment was too much. Even in the world of wrestling, where kayfabe reigned supreme, at least it did at that time, this was a moment where reality intruded in the most hilarious way. In an interview on Lanny Poffo's podcast, Fred Ottman would recount the the incident in his own words. As Ottman recounts it, the glitter was getting in my eyes. The secretary peeled off pieces of her pantyhose, made them into patches, and glued them over the eye holes. I could barely see out of the eye holes, but now I was totally blind. They also told me they hadn't gimmicked the wall. It was just like a wall, like if you go from your kitchen to your dining room. I had to burst through it. They told me I was going to have to hit it hard. I was benching almost 600 pounds at that point. I was strong and everything. I told Mike Graham not to worry, that I could bust through the wall. It wasn't the first thing I've busted through in my life or broken, I told him. I got the cue. I made a double axe handle, raised my arms above my head, and blasted the wall. I was standing 5 or 6 inches from it and hit it as hard as I could. I blew the wall out and became a human teeter-totter because of an unstable board just below my knees. I really did shock the world. Ole Anderson performed the infamous cartoony voice of the Shockmaster. He had also done most of the voiceover work for the mysterious Black Scorpion in 1990, who was determined not only to end Sting's career, but his life.
So you're the man that rules the world. They call me the Shockmaster.
The Shockmaster's debut didn't just fail. It became legendary. It's a cautionary tale of overambition, poor planning, and the unpredictable nature of live television and professional wrestling in general. Yet, it's also a reminder of why we love professional wrestling, for its unscripted moments of pure, unadulterated chaos, insanity, excitement, and fun. The Shockmaster's debut was a microcosm of WCW's approach to wrestling in the 90s. Bold, brash, and often hilariously off the mark and out of touch. It's a story that continues to be told, laughed at, and celebrated. Not for its success, but for its spectacular failure. In the annals of wrestling history, the Shockmaster will forever be remembered, not as a fearsome warrior, but as a symbol of wrestling's most endearing goof-ups. And if you're wondering what happened in the main event of WCW's inaugural Fall Brawl event in 1993 in the War Games match, 16 minutes and 39 seconds the match lasted, with the team of Sting, Davey Boy Smith, Dustin Rhodes, and the Shockmaster, albeit in a much different attire, defeated Sid Vicious, Vader, and the Harlem Heat. So there you have it, folks, on the 31st anniversary of the Shockmaster's debut. It was August 18th, 93. This pay-per-view took place, which I probably have somewhere on VHS in my tape library. And I vaguely remember the Shockmaster, but it was after his gimmick change because I did not see this live. It was years later. I saw it in gag reels and such online, and this has been a fun video to make. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to start covering some more content like this, things from wrestling's past that were either like this, absolutely absurdly hilarious, or things that would change wrestling for the better. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Does anybody remember this happening live? Let me know. Subscribe. Check us out on Patreon, channel memberships. You guys know what to do. I'm Etep Wakuian from Wrestling with Horror. I will catch you guys on the next one. Remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away. Or end up like this.
I told you.